Hi, it's Lydia and welcome to this 60-minute full body Pilates class with a little bit of stretch in there as well. So we don't need any equipment, but if you like to use it for any of the exercises, have it nearby and you can grab it as we move through the class. Otherwise, bring it down onto the mat. You can lie on your backs, and just to preface this by saying that you don't need to complete every single rep that we do. So work to your own level, take modifications where you need to, add a challenge, bring it back a little. It's your practice. I'm just here to give you a little guide on the way through and to motivate you wherever you are in the world. So let's get started. Down on our backs, supine position. And you can either take the legs out long or have the soles of the feet down on the mat. We're just going to take a moment to bring our awareness into the body. We might close the eyes and take some deeper breaths. In through the nose, sighing it out through the mouth. Feel the body just resting on the mat beneath you. Notice how the body's feeling today, if there's any aches and pains from stuff we've been doing throughout the week. Any areas that you particularly want to send some focus to. Or as ever, if we're working with any injuries, modifying where we need to and looking after our bodies. So, starting with some pelvic tilts, palms can come down to the side or rest on the hips. As we exhale, think about pulling the belly button in, spine pressing into the mat. As you inhale, soften, release the tailbone back down. Find that space between lower back and the mat. And release. So just starting to activate through the core. Belly button pulls in, we feel the abs wrapping around the waist. And then we release, letting the tailbone drop back down. So just this nice, small, subtle movement helping us connect with the body. Lovely. And then we're going to take those articulations a little bigger, bringing it up into a bridge. So pressing feet into the mat, pressing the palms down beside you. Inhale to prepare. Exhale as you lift the tailbone. Tuck it under, scoop the hips up towards the ceiling. Core is braced. Take it all the way up. And then uncurl one bone at a time all the way back down to the mat. So super controlled, precise movement. Maybe if we're quite new to Pilates, it feels hard to get that smooth movement there. It feels a little bit jerky, a little bit clunky. And that's okay because we're just working on it. We're working on improving that, on improving the kind of fluidity between the movements. Working on that control. Good. And just noticing how the body feels today. Maybe the legs are feeling a little wobbly. Maybe we're finding it hard to stabilize. Maybe we're feeling really good and super strong, ready for this whole class. Good, one more time. Taking it all the way up and bringing it down. Nice, then you can take your arms out to the side. Take them out wide, palms down to the mat. And bring, either leaving the feet on the mat, taking some twists from side to side. Otherwise, for more of a challenge, we're going to bring the legs up to tabletop, so knees over the hips, 90-degree bend at the knee, and keeping the knees and the feet together, take the knees over to the left, both shoulders pressing down into the mat, bring it back to center, take it over to the other side. So working on the core, just going as far over as to where you feel the shoulder blades start to peel off the mat. We don't want to get to that stage, so we're pressing shoulders down, feeling strong, bring it back to center. Good. Knees are pressing together. Bringing that twist in through the spine in more of an active way. Obviously, if we've got the toes down on the mat, we can enjoy that twist a little bit more. We're using less effort, but still getting that same warm up through the spine, that rotation. And then we're going to come into our hundreds. So super classical move. This is probably the most iconic Pilates exercise, and loads of variations as well. Option to keep toes down on the mat or take the legs out long. The higher the legs are, the easier it is. So the closer to the mat, the harder it is for the abs. So choose your position to start from. And we're not going to do our full 100, we're just going to go for 50 or so. So inhale to prepare, take your legs to wherever you'd like them. You can always move them partway through if we need to. Take an inhale to prepare, exhale, chin to chest, take the arms long. And going here, so inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale. So we're pulling the shoulders up off the mat, we're pressing the fingers away, pulling the belly button into the spine, using the breath, so breathing in for 5 pumps, breathing out for 5 pumps. Keep going there. Pulling belly in. If we feel the belly doming, drop the legs down, maybe drop toes to the mat. Go for another 10. Out. Good. Soften, release it down, hug the knees in. Turn the head from side to side. So a little fire up of the abs to get us started. We're then going to come into our single leg stretch as well. So just take a bit of movement here to start with. Rolling the hips around, hands on top of the knees. A little massage for the lower spine. And then we're going to do our single leg stretch. So we have option to either let the shoulders rest down on the mat or keep them lifted for more of a challenge. You can obviously change that as we move through. Going to start with our right leg in. So pull the knee in, send left leg away and switch. Now, we don't need to move super fast here. We want to be focusing on control. Belly button pulling into the spine. Chin tucked down towards the chest. Exhaling as you bring the knee in. Really driving the knee in, toes away. Good, 2 more each side. And then we're going to take it into a little cross crunch. So instead of pulling the knee in, fingers to temples, elbow to knee, elbow to knee. Good, breathing in and out. If we need to take a breather, if we need to take toes down to the mat, we've got options. Good, another 2 each side. Staying there, 1. Good, hug the knees in, relax down on the mat. Ooh. Good, nod the head, take the head from side to side. And while we're in this position, we're going to find a little happy baby, open through the hips a little bit. I did mention at the beginning, we were going to include some nice deep stretching in this class. And here is an opportunity to do so. So just bring the knees a little wider. You can take a sway side to side, really open through the inner thighs. Good. If you want to come into a full happy baby, you can take hands to the feet. Bring the knees a little wider. Again, any little movements that feel good, moving deeper into that stretch. Bringing the knees towards you, pulling the tailbone down towards the mat. So rather than it rounding up, we're pulling tailbone down. Good. And staying with our focus on the core, we're going to come into some roll-ups. So taking the legs out long. With this roll-up though, we're going to keep the arms tall rather than coming into that folding position at the top. So take the legs out long, drawing the legs together, pressing the legs down into the mat, bracing through the core, pulling belly button in, arms are up by the ears. Take a big long stretch there, reaching fingers and toes away. And then we'll begin. So inhale to prepare. Exhale as the chin tucks to the chest, rounding through the spine, keeping the arms up. Come to a high sitting position, reaching tall. Round through the spine, uncurl back down to the mat with control. Super slow. Take the arms back overhead. We're going to do 5 more of those. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, chin to chest. Take the arms up. Finding that high sitting position, nice long spine, tall hair reaching through the crown of the head. And then rounding, find C-spine, that curved spine, uncurling back down. 1 bone at a time, good. Another few here. Good, so we're not using momentum to pull us up, it's all control. Control through the abs, through the legs, pressing the legs down into the mat. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, so arms are reaching up but shoulders are pulled down. Rounding as we take it back. Good, nice and controlled. If we find the roll-ups pretty hard, then we can focus on the roll downs instead, and you can use your hands to bring you back to seated. Reaching up, rounding down. We're going to take 1 more roll-up. Good. Sitting up tall. Release the hands down to the side. Take the legs a little wider. We're going to find a spine stretch here. So legs can come a little wider as is comfortable, maybe just to the edge of the mat, perhaps a little wider. And this is where we're going to find our rounding forwards through the spine. So take the arms up by the ears again, find an inhale. Exhale, chin to chest, round as you reach forwards, folding to where you can. Inhale at that full extension, that full flexion, sorry. And exhale, bring it back up to seated. Okay, so inhale to prepare. Exhale to round and reach the fingertips away, pressing sit bones into the mat. Inhale here. Exhale to round back in with control. Bring it tall. Good. Again, 3 more. Reaching fingers away. Good. Rolling down, reaching forwards. Taking 1 more here. Bring it back in, lift the arms up. Good, release the hands down by the side, bring the legs together, puff the chest forwards, lift the gaze open through the chest. Nice. Focusing a little more on some mobility through the spine, bring it around to a tabletop position and take the knees a little wider than the hips. Bring big toes together and sit the hips back, finding a child's pose. We're not going to stay here for too long. We're going to flow between this shape and our cobra. So as we round coming forwards, chin to chest, lift the heels, release the hips down to the mat, find a cobra variation, lifting the gaze. Pull the belly button into the spine, activate the core, send it back to your child's pose. Inhale. Exhale, rounding forwards, pulling belly in. Inhale, release the hips down, breathing into the chest. Take it back, child's pose. Good. Coming all the way forwards, this time leaving the feet down on the mat, finding our cobra. A nice extension through the spine here, pressing the hands into the mat. Crown of the head reaching tall. pressing the hips gently into the mat as well. Good. Then take it back into your child's pose, holding there for a few breaths. Big toes come together, reach the hips back, walk the hands away, melt the chest down to the mat, and let the forehead rest onto the mat. So taking the knees a little wider gives us a deeper stretch through the hips, helps us find a little bit more space there. Reaching the fingertips long as the tailbone pulls back just gives us a bit of traction through the spine. We can breathe into the back of the ribs. We're then going to come back up to our tabletop position. We're going to do a little bit of upper body work, working on our press-ups. So coming into that press-up position, either on your knees or on your toes. If we're on the knees, it's not a tabletop position, but we want that straight line from the shoulders down to the knees. We can tuck the toes if we prefer. If we want to be lifting the knees, then we keep that straight line all the way through the body from the shoulders through to the hips to the heels. Now we're going to do 6 press-ups. Perhaps you want to start on the knees and lift up to the toes for the last couple. And we're going to move super slow. So fingertips nice and wide, lightly gripping at the mat. Bracing through the core, belly button pulled in. We're going to inhale as we lower down, hovering the chest above the mat. Exhale to help us press back up all the way. Good. 5 more. Inhale, resist gravity on the way down. Exhale, press the floor away. Keeping that nice straight line through the body. Good. Halfway through, keeping the elbows in towards the ribs. Last 2, do you want to try them up on the toes? Good, 1 more. Big push. Good. Bring the knees down, take a little breather, shake out the arms. We're going to add on this time. So after our press up, we're going to open out into a side plank, reaching right arm tall. Press up through center, left arm reaches tall. If you've got some hand weights and you want to pop those either side so you can use them for the lift, by all means grab them. That'd be a good place to pop them in. If not, we're just using body weight. So back to that press up position. On the knees or the toes. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. High plank, right arm lifts. Keep the hips pressing up towards the ceiling. Back through center, press up. Round to the other side, left arm reaches tall. Back to center, good, press up. With control, still not rushing things. Rolling over to the right. Back in. Over to the left. Good. Nice and strong through that side plank. Good. Take right arm up. This time stay in that side plank. Right hand is going to reach underneath us, underneath that left shoulder, and come back tall. So twisting through and reaching long. Good, 2 more times. 1 more, staying strong through that left arm. Good, through to center, press up. Over to the left side. Left arm reaches tall. Feet are one in front of the other, left arm reaches through, reaching underneath towards our right and bringing it back up again. Keeping the hips lifted, squeezing through the underside of the waist. 1 more. Good. Through to center, last push up here, maybe doing it on the toes. Good, drop the knees down, find a child's pose. And let the body rest. Relax through the shoulders, let the forehead rest on the mat. Maybe taking the arms down by the feet to relax through the shoulders even more. Coming up out of that child's pose, take right arm across the body, hug it in with the left hand. Nice deep breaths. We can circle through that right wrist if that feels good. Taking them in both directions. Good. Over to the other side, left arm draws in. Good. So moving on to our lower body. Now we're going to come down onto our backs, work the lower body. This, if you've got ankle weights, this would be an ideal time to put them on if you're wanting to. So we're going to be doing some shoulder bridge work, some leg lifts, circles, clams, all the good stuff to get the lower body working. So adding those weights on if we want to. Otherwise, just using body weight, absolutely fine. And coming all the way down into setup for our bridge. So rolling down, palms down by the mat. Back of the head resting on the mat, shoulders nice and relaxed. We're going to come up into a glute bridge here. So even weight through the feet, arms down by the side, press through the heels. We don't want the feet too close to you or too far away. So find that happy medium. You can adjust when you come up, see what feels best. Engage through the core. So belly button pulls in, ribs knitting to the hips. Press the hips up, finding that height. Keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. And remember that when we breathe in, belly softens, maybe rises as we bring that air in deep into the body. And as we exhale, we wrap the abs around, we wrap everything in so we're nice and tight through this core. We're going to start on our right side and then we'll run through everything on the left. So to start with, we're going to take lifts and lowers with this right leg. So extend it out in front of you, point the toes. Lift up towards the ceiling. Flex the foot, take it down. Low towards the mat. Point as we take it up. Flex as you bring it down. Trying to keep the hips lifted. Trying not to let them fall. Pressing down through that left heel. Option, if we're finding this super hard, is to let the hips come back down and just work with the leg lifts and lowers. So that is your option. Pointing the toes. Flexing, take it away. Good. Keeping the hips lifted. One more here. Take it up, lower the hips down. Come onto your side for our side lying leg lifts. So either propping head up on the hand or taking it out long, whatever you prefer. Taking the legs out long, maybe bottom leg is bent to help with our keepers a bit more stable. Right hand just resting in front of you. We can use the hand on the hips to check they're stacked and then bring it down. We're going to point the right toes as we lift up, finding as much height as we can and lowering down. So that's our movement, pointing the toes, lifting and lowering. While we're focusing on the leg in those lifts and lowers, we don't want to forget about the abs. So we want to think about the core switching on, almost feeling that underside of the waist pulling up, staying nice and engaged. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Good. Nice controlled movement. So we're not rushing, just lifting and lowering. We want to feel that tension at the top. We want to feel that activation through the glute. Good. Lovely. So we can press that bottom leg into the mat for support. Also, we'll get that leg working as well. Good. Now lift that right leg about halfway and draw little circles. Keeping the rest of the body nice and still, so we're using the core to stabilize the body. Shoulders are relaxed, drawing little circles forwards, feeling that burn through that right glute. Good. Take those circles the other way. Keep pointing the toes away. Keep the core braced. Good. Little movements. Little baby circles. Nice. Hold there. We take little pulses up and down. Go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, almost there, 4, 3, point the toes away, 2, 1. Good. Bring the knees together, straight into our clams, either keeping the heels down on the mat or lifting them. Right knee opens wide, closing back down. Good. So the knees are in front of us. We've got this 90-degree bend at the knee. And really think about the outside of this glute, opening up, taking that knee as high as you can, keeping the heels together. Good. Remembering about our core. Lovely. Next time, hold open at the top. Maybe lift the heels if they're not already. Little pulses. Open, close. Go for another. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Close it down. Give that glute a little rub. Working super hard. And then we're going to do the same with the left leg. So back to that bridge position when you're ready. Palms down by the sides. Pressing up, finding that bridge. Soft through the shoulders, strong through the legs, hips pressing up towards the ceiling, core braced. Left leg is going to, if you want to take that right foot a little closer to the midline, so more underneath us for a bit more stability, absolutely fine. Left leg is going to reach out long. Point to lift. Flex to lower. Good. If you feel yourself rushing, just notice and slow it down. Using the arms for support, pressing them into the mat. Trying to keep the hips lifted. And another one here, pressing the hips up. Lower it down, release the hips. Come around onto your right side. I'm going to swivel so you can see the front of me, not the back. Again, setting up, maybe hand to the head. Bottom leg bent for some extra support. If you can work with the straight legs, great. If we feel a bit wobbly, bend that bottom leg. Take left leg long, hips stacked on top of one another. Left hand for support, brace through the core. I've said it a million times, but we don't want to forget about that. So pointing the left toes, we lift and lower. Lifting and lowering. Seeing how high we can get the leg, not rushing, maybe hanging at the top for a little millisecond. So we really feel that push. So we're pressing up against gravity. We're resisting gravity as we go back down. So these moves work both ways. We're not just focusing on pressing the leg up and letting it fall down. We want that resistance on the way down as well. Good. Do another 2 here. Pulling that underside of the waist in. Come up halfway, draw those little circles, so taking the circles forwards. They don't need to be big circles. Mine aren't even particularly round. We're aiming for round, but mine are feeling a little clunky. They're more like squares. And that just will improve as we build the strength and we build the control. Take the circles the other way. Maybe that feels a little smoother. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Find stillness, take little pulses. Going for 10. Pressing the toes away. Going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straight into those clams. Bend the knees 90 degrees. Lift the heels, open and close. Open. So really lifting that knee, firing up through the glute, bringing it down with control. So pressing open and close. Heels together. Good. Open and close. This time open, hold open, little pulses. Going here. Stay with it. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release it down. Oh, shake out through that glute. Give it a little rub, a little hit. Oh, there we go. And we've got a nice deep stretch here. So come onto your backs. Let the knees just drop side to side. Have a nice easy twist. And then we're going to find a reclined pigeon. So we can come into this longer stretch. Crossing the right ankle over the left knee. You can drop your ankle weights if you've got them, because that might be more comfortable. Right ankle over the left knee. And draw that knee in. Hands behind the back of the left leg. Oh, get that nice opening through the outside of this glute. Drawing that leg closer to feel a deeper stretch, and let the eyes close. You've earned that nice deep stretch there. Good. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. So, left ankle coming across. Hugging the right knee in. And notice the difference between both sides. Notice which side you maybe feel more open on, which side feels tighter, more restricted, which side feels more sore from that work. So noticing which is our stronger or weaker side. And that will start to even out with the more practice that we do. Finding a nice release here through the hip before we bring it back to a standing position, because we're not quite finished yet. Good. Release that ankle. Take a couple of rolls and we're going to come all the way up to standing. So whoosh, big push to come all the way up. And we've got a little standing sequence here to do. Coming into our standard squats here, so just sitting the hips back, weight into the heels, pressing up, sweep the arms back. Nice. We're just going to do another 8 here. So sitting back as we reach, standing tall. We can work a little higher. If we've got any issues with the knees, we don't need to drop the hips so low. Again, modifying, working with what works best for you. Good, one more. And then we're going to stay low in our next squat. Holding that squat there. We're going to inhale, take the arms behind. Exhale, bring them in front. Active through the arms. Another 3 here. Staying low. Maybe dropping a little lower. Last one. Good, press it back up to standing. Have a little shake out of the legs if you need. Now we're going to take a lunge with a rotation through the chest. So, hands can come to center, pump fists together, shoulders nice and relaxed, keeping the fists in front of the chest. Stepping right leg back, finding a lunge. Twisting to your left with control, using the core, back to center, step it in. So right foot back, we're just working the right leg this time, the right side, and then we'll go on to the left. Hovering the knee off the mat, with control we twist, with control we return to center. Exhaling as we deepen the twist, so expelling the air, allowing us to twist a little deeper. Good, 3 more here. Good, 2 more. Lower down, twist. 1 more, straight over to the other side. Stepping it in, good, left leg comes back. Twisting to our right. Good. Hovering the knee above the mat. Tucking the tailbone slightly. Good. Another 3 here. Another 2. Good. Bring it into center. We go back to our squats and we add a tap out. So, sitting the hips back, tap right foot out. Staying with that right leg, pointing the toes. Good. Next time we hold at the top, hands to hips, leg abduction. Abduction. Taking right leg out, lower down with control. Challenging that balance. Lifting as high as we can. Good. We bring fingertips to the temples and turn that into a side crunch. So bring knee up to meet the elbow. Take it out. Just 3 more there. Keeping the standing leg bent. 1 more, back to squats, left side. Sit it back, tap left leg. Active through the arms. Next time we lift, we find those leg abductions, hands to the hips, standing leg bent. Float that left foot out, pressing up. Good. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good, 2 more, and we take it into the crunches. Fingers to temples, elbow to knee. Slow and controlled. 2 more. 1 more. Good, reach up, take an inhale, exhale, forward fold. Take a couple of breaths in that forward fold, pedal out through the feet, bending the knees. And then we're going to walk our hands out, finding a tabletop position. So walk the hands away, drop the knees down. We're going to then come to a low lunge on the right side, stepping that right foot forwards, coming up nice and tall. And we're going to sink into this low lunge. So what I mean by that is just letting the hips slide forward to where they naturally come to. We may need to take that front foot further away, depending how open we are through the hips. Let the hips slide forward, lift the arms, inhale. Exhale, let the hands come down. Good. Nice deep breaths. Next time the hands come down, place them on top of the knee, just resting lightly. Letting the hips relax into that lunge. This time, left hand is going to place down on the mat, heel toe the right foot out, finding a lizard pose, so letting the knee drop open. Right arm is going to reach forwards and then open out behind. Reaching forwards and opening out. We have the option to draw that back heel in towards the hand and take it long as we reach. So just working with whatever feels good. Good. Next time, right hand comes forward, place it on the mat. Foot goes out long behind, holding that lizard shape. Option to tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Good. We also have the option, if you're super open through the hips, to come down onto forearms to deepen that stretch through the hip. We can roll onto the outside edge of this right foot to allow the knee to drop open a little more. Taking nice deep breaths. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. So back to that low lunge, left foot forwards. Body up nice and straight, nice and tall. And then letting the hips sink forwards. Moving gradually into that lunge. We inhale to lift the arms. Exhale to bring them wide. Good. Next time, hands can rest on top of the thigh. Taking a couple of breaths. Maybe closing the eyes. Moving into that lizard shape, right hand comes down, left toes, heel toe a little wider, toes point outwards. Let the left knee drop open. Arm reaches forwards and opens behind. We have the option to draw that back leg in. Just having a nice deep stretch after class is always a nice idea. I think we've worked hard, especially through the lower body, and now we can just find a bit more length, a bit more flexibility in the lower body. Good. Hand comes down in front, holding in that lizard pose, your variation. Option to tuck back toes or bring it down onto forearms. Take a couple of breaths again, maybe closing the eyes if that feels good to you. From here, we're going to stretch out through the quads as well. So you can come up onto the hands if you're not already. Step the left foot back and then come all the way onto your belly. So bring that left arm around in front of you. Pull your right heel in towards the bum. Right arm reaches around, quad stretch here. You can let your head rest on the forearm. To feel that stretch a little deeper, you can press the front of the right hip into the mat. Good, couple more breaths. And then with control, release, take it round to the other side. Exactly the same with the left leg. Try not to breathe like Darth Vader into the mic, because that won't be very relaxing for you. Releasing that leg with control. Push yourself back up, find a seated position. Good, coming all the way around onto our bums. Finding a cross-legged position or just taking the legs out long if you prefer. We're going to finish with a couple of breaths. So getting nice and comfortable, feeling both of your sit bones grounding into the mat. Legs nice and relaxed, spine tall. Roll the shoulders down the back. We're going to inhale, take the arms up overhead. And exhale, take them down. It's nice circles with the arms. Inhaling to reach up. Exhaling to reach down. Once more, breathing in. And breathing out, release the hands. Flutter open the eyelashes if they're not already open. And thank you very much for joining me for this hour-long Pilates class. And hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.